Quite frankly, I've never done anything quite like what's going to happen in the next few hours.
Yeah.
Stop.
Stop.
Elbow girl.
Elbow girl.
Electrostatic man, so.
Electrostatic man.
Big green box.
Big red ball. Big red ball.
Joining us now on UtahPulse.com is Stanley Hainsworth. He is the Chief Creative Officer for Tether. You can find them online at tetherinc.com. And he will be here on November 13th in Salt Lake City speaking at Brand Evolution.
For some reason, people say that I have a look. I haven't quite been able to place my finger on it. For me, it goes along with my personality. Brands are the exact same way. Everything you do as a brand reflects back on who and what you are as a brand.
So I thought of the name Tether, and for me, Tether was appropriate because what I wanted to do is create stories and the emotional connection between a consumer and a product or a brand. And so this seemed like a perfect metaphor because this is rigid. This doesn't move. This is the core of a brand. It never changes. You can paint this and change it somewhat, but it's always going to be the core of the brand. And then the ball here and the string, these are always moving. And you can change this. This could become a chain or a rope, and you can change what's on the end of this as well. But it's free flowing. But it always comes back to the core of the brand.
Joining us today on UtahPulse.com is Mike Bonifer. He is the co-founder of Game Changers, LLC, and you can also read his writings on HuffingtonPost.com.
People are free to interact with it however they want. You have the ability, this is emotion, this is a flow of ideas, this is this is the product, right? And this is what you have to construct to connect the product to the organization. So those of you who are in the branding business, you're controlling this tether.
Like Nike started with pure improvisation, and they continue that way in the marketplace. The shoe that came out, this shoe was Michael Jordan's first shoe. It was banned in the NBA, so they improvised off of that. You learn from your customers. The sneaker freak culture, the collect shoes. They improvise. They modify their own shoes. Nike looked at that and said, hey, maybe there's a business there. And so we created Nike ID, where you can go online and you can design your own shoes. David LaPlante did this thing where he attached a tube all the way from the Starbucks across the street, all the way into the studio so that he could have fresh coffee at his desk. So that was all done, that's what's great again, when people take your brand for themselves. Harley Davidson, another great example. So many things happen outside of the brand. They're not sanctioned by the brand or encouraged by the brand. They're building their own communities and improvising with the brand.
My book is called Game Changers, and it's people who are adept at improvising, who have the ability to identify productive games, if necessary, change the game, or if a game is unproductive, to edit it quickly. I think that one of the great skills that great managers have is the ability not only to recognize a productive game, a lot of people can do that, but to instantly recognize when something is not working and edit. All right, so you're going to edit my story. I'm just going to start talking, and when anybody here feels like editing, I want to hear the word "and." I was born on a farm in southern Indiana. We raised soybeans and corn and beef cattle, and I used all of that material as my dossier to get a job at Disney, where my first job was the publicist on Tron. The audience is in control of the narrative. So think about that as you think about narratives generally, and especially about brands in the marketplace. The sky's the limit, and you will discover things along the way that you can incorporate in the narrative that you never would have dreamed up on your own. If you'll look on the bottoms of your seats, you'll find one of these symbols. Find people that have the same symbol as you and get in groups.
But we used it in our own business. We played the game to say, how do we pull this together, listen to our audience, and execute on something that's true to ourselves. So thank you for playing our game.